Hi, this is MTV214. I'm going to be reviewing this book. I finished this a few days ago. It's called The Power by Frank M. Robinson. It's actually from the 50s, so an old book. You could see the price on this. And I found out after reading it was actually made into a movie, which is a little different than the book. It was an interesting book to read. It's about that there's this committee that they're trying to figure out about like endurance, about people going to space, and there's a professor, like physicist, his name is Tanner, and there's an anthropologist, there's a military man from the Navy, like Nordland, his name is. I think I pronounced that correct, or Northland. But it's about that they're trying to find out about how much humans can endure with like going into space, and in it they have a questionnaire, and it's about like different experiences and all, and then they have as a group to try and make something move, like with telekinesis, the power to move things with your mind, and then as a group they all do it at the same time, and the thing actually moves, and then they're like, like who did this, like how is this possible? And then what happens is like the next day or a few days later, one of the people in the group is killed, and the Professor Tanner, who's like a physicist, he's like, is trying to figure out like how is this possible, like who from the group was able to do this and has this power. And one of the other people in the group is killed, and he's trying to figure that, and like he actually is trying to figure that out, and like he gets blamed for it, even though it like looked like a heart attack, but it's like someone has some way to do this, because no one, he just was like a young healthy man and passed away from like it looked like a heart attack or something like that, so doesn't know. And then he gets blamed for it, and also all of his records disappear, like he doesn't exist. He goes to the library, he goes to different places, and like, okay, like I'm here for this or that. He goes to the bank and they don't know him, there's no record of him, so it's like very strange. And then he's on the run after like going to the one that was killed, his apartment, and there was something written down, like starting to write a letter to someone named Adam Hart, and then he's like, oh, like to like figure out about that. So when he runs away, he goes to the hometown of who was killed, and while there he speaks to the people about like who was there, like about the guy that passed away. He meets his family and other people, and ask about this Adam Hart, and he's like, oh, like the odd thing is everyone describes Adam Hart differently. It's like one person says this, one person says that, and it's like this doesn't sound like the same person. So it seems like he's that Adam Hart, whoever that is, like projecting whatever that person wants to see in someone, good qualities, and that's what they see. And so he's there. He finds out some things about his former like coworker. That he was like a good student, kind of shy, what have you. And then so he gets into a fight with someone that Adam Hart in the past had said, okay, like if somebody comes looking for about me, to stop it. And then the doctor in that town is like trying to go, like helping him with his wounds. Then he leaves town and he goes back to where they're from with the committee, and he meets up with someone else, and that person tries to help him. He meets up with a few of them. One of them doesn't show up when he was going to meet them, and he's like scared to be at his home, at home and alone now. So he like stays up all night at like all night diner, what have you, to keep busy and to stay like in safety, in numbers. And one of the other people he's with, he goes to help him, like is gonna help him, and then they go back to his house, and he's like, oh, like then the family doesn't know him, like, oh, like my husband died in the war years ago. And so it's like that person that goes to help him loses his family, and like with others it's sort of the same thing, that they are killed off, that were in this committee to find about him. And it seems like Tanner has the mindset to be like if you wouldn't like wouldn't know exactly what's about that, like there's this person that has all these special powers, you would think it's sort of like in his mind psychological that like what he's like imagining this, he's crazy himself. But all this stuff happens to him and others, that people are killed off, and then he thinks one person is this Adam Hart, and that person gets killed off, and then finds out, oh, it wasn't him, it was actually someone else. And since this is the like old book and movie, the movie is from the 60s, I think, that it's actually the military man was this person that's pretending to be someone else and figuring out who else has these mental powers to like kill someone just with thought and like, you know, make their heart stop beating, what have you. And then he finds out that like Tanner has power too. That's like how he's been able to survive all this stuff. So it was an interesting read. I was thinking it was going to go a different way, that actually like it's all in his head, but there was more to it. And I didn't see the movie yet, but I want to check this out. So it's an interesting old book. I'd suggest like read it if you could find it for cheap. I'm sure you could, or watch the movie, and I'm sure it's available online or from different places. It's called The Power by Frank M. Robinson. There's another book called The Power by another writer, but this one is by Frank M. Robinson. So it was interesting to see from the book about like this different story unfold. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Have a great weekend. And check out my previous videos about like different reviews, figures, books, what have you. I think I'm gonna do one for a Deadpool movie coming up, because I saw that last night. Thanks. Have a great day. Take care.